Hi viewers, welcome to another edition of Wisdom and Power for Life. Susie, your host. Today we are talking about what our parents never told us about marriage. What did the parents fail to explain to the children about marriage? We understand that in our culture as Africans, most of our parents never told us what marriage is all about. And we found ourselves into marriages not knowing what it means to be married or what marriage is all about. If you're interested to know what our parents failed to tell us what marriage is all about, stay tuned and follow suit. Marriage, according to the Oxford Dictionary, is a legal or formal union of two persons in partnership into a personal relationship. What I want to underline here is the term partnership. Marriage is a kind of partnership, and this we were not told by our parents that marriage is partnership. Partnership is a form of a business where two or more people have ownership, as well as the opportunity for managing the company and income or losses in the business. So we see how marriage has been defined. We understand what partnership is. It entails two persons managing an institution. Marriage is an institution to be managed by two persons. We understand that marriage has been taught us to be a honeymoon thing. It has been taught us to be that kind of dream of a youthful romance. Social media, the photos we see around and the films we watch, we have been brought into believing that marriage is a dream of a youthful romance. But now, we have been told that it is a partnership issue. It is a kind of a business institution where two people come together into managing the institution, which means it's a kind of like 50-50 in a relationship. 50-50 in the marriage where everyone has a role to play, where the role of every person has to be defined. We were not taught by our parents. I don't know what we experienced from our homes, how our mothers and fathers lived together, without actually defining to the children what marriage is. So we see how important it is for this generation to find out the meaning of certain things that were not told them by their parents, so as to know when they decide to go into this institution, whatever institution they find themselves, they should be knowledgeable in what they are going into, in what they are making their minds to go into, and the kind of choices they are making for themselves. Marriage is a partnership. It's not a place where one person dominates. It's a place, an institution, where everything is equally shared. In managing the relationship, it's an equal sharing of duties. It's an equal sharing of ownership. It's an equal sharing. Everyone has a say in the relationship. Everyone must be given a voice in the relationship. Everyone must be heard. The woman must be heard. The man must be heard. And communicating together should be like looking for a middle point in the partnership. coming to an agreement on how to run the institution. Knowing what marriage is very, very important for us to understand how to manage this institution. Many of us went into marriage without having been able to understand what we are going into. We couldn't even give a definition of what marriage is all about. And that is why as we got into it, we started experiencing the realities of marriage. That marriage is not for kids. Being a kid in marriage means you know nothing about it. You know nothing about the definition. You know nothing about what you're going into. You just jump ignorantly into something that requires knowledge, that requires understanding before being able to manage it well. Or even deciding to go into it, because it's also a choice. It requires being able to manage, as we have identified from the definition of partnership. Marriage is a kind of like two people coming to manage the institution together. Two people are ownership of this institution and not a one-man thing. An authoritative being or a domineering partner is not a one-sided thing. It is an equal show. It's all about understanding what we have made our mind to go into. It's all about understanding what it entails to be in a relationship called marriage, what it means to be in an institution called marriage, and how to manage this, how to enjoy, how to make the best of this institution, making the most of what it entails for two people to come together with all their being, all their belongings, and making up their minds to dwell together until death does them part. It means putting your whole life into the hands of another person, and the other person putting their whole life into your hands. And also meaning inspiring one another, understanding one another. We realize that most often we struggle in marriage because we jumped into it ignorantly. We jumped into it without having had time to understand what it means to be married. We jumped into it without actually having had time to get counseling, to get advice from those who are in the institution, knowing what they are facing, knowing what they are going through, knowing how they are managing the institution, and having a definition of what we are going into, understanding what it all means and all that it entails going into this institution. That is why we find many marriages breaking. We find people suffering in this institution. Either a woman is suffering or the man is suffering. Why? Because when they made this choice, they were not knowledgeable of what they are going into. It is a choice to get married. And before you make the choice, find the definition. Read about what it means. Seek advice from those who have been into it. Seek advice for those who have spent many years having a successful marriage. And also seek to find out from those who are out of the marriage what it all meant to them. So you can weigh both sides and make up your mind if it is something for you. It is a very beautiful thing, but it entails understanding. It entails being knowledgeable of what it means to be married. So viewers, marriage is all about encouraging and assisting one another. Marriage is all about understanding your partner and accepting them with their flaws and not being judgmental. It's all about supporting one another. It's all about standing up for the good of one another. It's all about knowing how to help one another come to their full potential. It's all about inspiring your partner into getting to be their best version. It's all about knowing your partner, how they function. And knowing how the functions will equip you to be able to understand them and to help them become the best version of themselves. Being married is a whole work. It's a whole duty we take upon ourselves towards the life of another person. So it entails being knowledgeable of what it means to be in marriage and to have your partner living with you their whole life, spending the rest of their years with you. So it's supposed to be an enjoyable moment, which has been given to us to enjoy, to have, to enter into, and live together, because two are better than one. Two are better than one, because two means two persons are coming in with what they know, with their experiences, with their gifts, with their talents, with their understanding. Putting this together into one pot makes a whole big pot of soup with all sorts of ingredients, and making the best out of this relationship where two have become one, with all the gifts, all the talents, all the knowledge and experiences that they have to exchange during this moment. It can be a beautiful moment, but it entails knowledge, understanding, and wisdom on how to manage your partner, how to manage this relationship, how to make the best of our abilities in this relationship, how to use the time wisely in this institution. May we not go into marriage ignorantly without having had time to find out what it means to be married, what it means to live with another person, with their flaws, with their weaknesses and their strength, and making the best out of it. But it takes knowledge, wisdom, understanding, managerial skills to be able to manage a second person in your life, to be able to understand a second person in your life, and making the best out of this opportunity. Thank you. In our next video, we are going to continue with this topic, a part 2. I encourage us to keep on watching and getting understanding, and this will help us take the next leap in our lives. Viewers, do not forget to subscribe, press the like button and the notification button, and leave a comment at the comment section. Thank you.